Alrighty, it's Flavor Rave time. Now I know I'm a little bit quote-unquote late for this one, but I didn't want to do this one right after I did such a heavy project in Dustin, and yes, I'm aware I just did the ultimate Pibby ranking, and at the rate I'm going right now, my subscribers, I'm guessing Heaven's Rift is right next. But I really wanted to do this mod. I figured no point stalling this out any longer. Let's just get into this mod. And I really enjoy this mod. Flavor is actually my second favorite OST of all time, with it only being beaten out by Doki Doki Takeover. And look, as much as I love Flavor Rave, look at Doki Doki Takeover's tier list. You're not beating this out. You'd have to have the best OST of all time to even come close to this masterpiece. But, yeah, Flavor Rave. This is a pretty good mod. It's an OC mod created by Team TBD, and again, Team TBD makes really good stuff, like Doki Doki Takeover, and Versus Infinite, and Doki Doki Takeover Bad Ending, and Doki Doki Takeover. Did I mention Doki Doki Takeover? Could have sworn I missed it. Anyway, we're covering all 28 songs today. Yes, I know it's technically 29, but I'm not doing Tres Leches HQ, it's just a remix of a song that's already in the mod. I'm not gonna do that. So, 28 songs, and up first is kind of obvious to most people, I feel like.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, back to you again. That's not how it goes.
I was really hoping that everything in this OST could maybe have a chance to become all S tiers, but Sivugunza, I think I'm saying that right, I probably am not, but correct me if I am. This song, I don't think ever has a chance to become S tier. There's a great many things about the song I don't like, but there's also a great many things about the song I do like. For one, I really like Savory's voice. Definitely the weakest usage in the entire mod, but still sounds amazing. I think Savory has an amazing chromatic the entire way through. His instrument is a guitar, and I'm not sure if that's a bass or if that's some kind of Mexican guitar, but you know, it actually sounds pretty nice. Definitely the weakest usage, again, just like his chromatic, but still really good. However, I do have a few problems with this song. One, I'm not huge on Mexican-themed songs. There's very few exceptions out there that exist. Out for Love from Has Been Hotel probably being the biggest example. But for the most part, I don't really care for them. This one's used well enough in its instrumental and its melodies, both being Mexican vibe, and I kinda like them. But there comes my other issue, in fact this song just kinda drags on. It being a solo act for almost 3 minutes and having just a kind of just okay-ish middle kind of just kills a bit of my mood for the song. It's being carried into A tier solely because of Savory's chromatic and his guitar playing, both of which are exceptional, and there are quite a few melodies out there that I enjoy, but besides that, I really don't feel like coming back to the song at all.
I tried making the viral candy cranberries because I wanted to see if this was as good as the internet said.
I used to remember thinking that Cranberry Pop was a kind of boring song. But nowadays, when I come back to listen to this song, I think, hey, this is a real good song. It's not quite S tier, and I really wish it was, mostly due to pretty annoying issues that I have with the song, which I'll address later. But for right now, I want to throw everything I love about this song. For one, I really like the clashing vibe that gives out in the instrumental. Trying to be a mix of both electronic and classical works very well. Flavor Rave is a very nice way of handling their mixtures of different music styles. Although Cranberry Pop is one of the weaker usages of that kind of style, it still sounds really good for the most part. Now let's start with the chromatics. Let's start off with Sweet. Sweet's chromatic is the weaker of the two. I don't love classical stuff, but for the most part it does sound pretty nice. Sour's chromatic is more electronic based to fit his keytar, like how Sweet's was more fitted to fit her baton, playing all the classical instruments. And I prefer Sour's. Their duet action on the contrary is just gorgeous. I love most of the time when they duet, and my favorite part of the song is actually mostly a duet between the two of them. The melodies are, for the most part, genuinely just amazing to listen to. I love them all. Sweet and Sour have such good chemistry, and again, while it's one of the weaker performances here, it still sounds just amazing. So what holds the song back, probably asking? Well, two things. One, Sweet's chromatic get a little bit too high-pitched at points, which I can kind of look past that one because it was kind of an overuse of her chromatic. But the other thing that annoys me about the song is the ending. I don't love the last 30 seconds of the song, and if I be honest, I wish it was cut. But it's not like it's a horrible ending, it just is just kind of just okay. They're not bad, but kind of what kills Cranberry Pop from ranking an S tier. This is the only other old track from the original Flavor Rave that I have in A tier. And although I really want to put Sugarcoat in S tier, just like Cranberry Pop, it has a couple problems. Well, I don't necessarily call it a problem, just more of a disappointment to me. It comes on the first half. Look, this first half does not give me S tier vibes. It barely even gives me A tier vibes at all. It's slow, it's sweet, and it's somber. And I don't love stuff like that. For the most part, it actually sounds really nice. It kind of feels like you're just saying goodbye to a lifelong friend, even though it's been somewhere in the metro for a couple hours. It sounds really good. I love it. But then the intro starts kicking up a lot, and Phase 1 slowly fades away, and in comes Phase 2, and oh my god, is Phase 2 amazing! I love the intro gets so much high energy, and the duets between Sweet and Sour are just so perfect. Everything about this last phase is just amazing. In fact, it kind of bounces out. A good enough start and an amazing ending make a pretty solid A tier, but I don't really think it's S tier vibes. It's close, but not close enough. Sorry.
Even breathing on them the wrong way would cause them to collapse.
You know, I find it kind of strange that sometimes listening to Flavor Rave's OST, I kind of forget that double stacked even exists half the time. Which is kind of a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing because it leaves room for more peak, but I also find it kind of embarrassing that my second favorite FNF mod of the song I like to forget about every now and then. So, yeah. However, when I do come back to this song, I do find myself enjoying it quite a bit. This song features Team... what was it called again? Wait, right, Team Rhythm Robo, featuring Toyota and Pyro Roller from Versus Toyota. I quite enjoy their chromatics. I much prefer Toyota's chromatic being a lot more chipper, but Pyro Roller's chromatic is also very nice. Sounding kind of angry, but also just enjoying the vibe all around. Kind of reminds me of a male Natsuki's chromatic, so I find this kind of cool. The melodies for the most part are genuinely just amazing, with there being an exceptional one right around the middle, which I just really love. The instrumental is fine for the most part. I don't think on it very often, but it's not like it's a bad instrumental, it's pretty nice. So, what's the problem, you're probably asking? Why is mine ranking an A tier? Look, I have to say it. Even though I've gotten better at song lengths, I don't complain as much as I think I used to in the past. This song, and this song only in the mod, is where I have problems with the length. 4 minutes was absolutely overkill and ridiculous for a song that barely changes up at all. The only change the song does is in the middle where the lights flash on, which is the exceptional part that I was talking about earlier, but other than that, it's just basically just the same thing for almost 4 minutes, and that's a little ridiculous. Had the song been like 3 or 3.5, I could maybe have this song in S tier, but because of that problem, I don't think I was gonna put this song in S tier for a good while.
I got 5 pieces of candy. I got a chocolate bar. I got a quarter. I got a rock.
Look, I'm just gonna say it. Even though Rock Candy is right in the middle, and I mean this, right in the middle of Week 1's OST, I think this song is probably the best way to merge both EDM and classical music together. Even Time Shock and Rainbow Sorbert just fall slightly short to Rock Candy's style. And while I do think Rock Candy is lower than those two songs, I still think for the most part this song is just amazing. Just remember as the positives, I quite adore the instrumental. Again, it's such a perfect blend between EDM and classical, and I really like that quite a bit. Sweet and Sour both sound pretty good for the most part. Sweet's actually a bit stronger than Sour's in this song, which is kind of strange, so usually Sour's the one that's stronger in these songs, but no, it's actually Sweet that's stronger this time. The melodies coming from both of them are, for the most part, genuinely amazing, and I love their instrument section. Maybe the first time in the mod, but it just sounds absolutely killer. I love it. Sour sounds incredible on his guitar, Sweet sounds amazing. So, what's wrong with this song? You guys remember how I said back in Cranberry Pop that Sweet got too high-pitched at points? Kind of the opposite problem here. I think Sour's too low-pitched on a couple parts, and I don't like how deep his chromatic can get at parts, which really stinks, because I just don't like that. Oh, the duet sections of the song are really good for most part. I love all of them, but yeah, Sour's slow notes for the most part are what's killing this song from making any higher than bottom 5. This just might be the single most difficult song in the entire OST for me to discuss. But I'm not gonna be a baby. I'm not gonna go get a guest ranker and just say, hey, talk about this song because I can't say anything about it. No, I'm just gonna try my hardest to speak about Cara Loca, because I really like this song. A lot. Let's just everything I like about the song, like right now. For one, I really like how sour and savory sound. Sour does sound a little bit muffled, but I chalked that fact that he's kind of banging hard to breathe all that running he's doing, so I'll leave it at a pass right there. Savory's chromatic is definitely better than it was in Siva Gwenza, which I'm probably not saying that right again. I don't speak Spanish, people, but it does still sound really good. When Star turns into his rave form, the instrumental gets like 10 times better, and I just love it. It was already a stellar chase theme, and now it's just even better. I love it to pieces. I love chase theme instrumentals. Demise, Nightmare Run, and so many others. They're all so good, and this is not an exception. The melodies for the most part of the song are absolutely just absolute bangers, and I really like it when both Savory and Sour pull out their instruments. They both sound really good, although if I had any problems with it, I do think Sour's guitar is a little bit too quiet, but it's not necessarily a massive problem for me. Then this really cool art style section pops up, and I just gotta say it right now. I really think this art style is just incredible, showing that Sour's just run out of energy, and now he's de-transformed from his rave form. But when you see the sun going down, you just realize the song's almost over. That doesn't stop it from being an absolute banger all the way to the end. I love the ending. The intro may have just been really good, but the entire ending section is just absolutely incredible the entire way through. Sour's almost out of juice, but he's just gonna keep on running to get back to his love, and I love the determination that's coming out of Sour. These melodies, as frantic as they are, still just sound absolutely incredible. I want to put a song higher, I do, but I don't feel like it's better than the remaining songs that we have left. This hurts, having Caramelize in the bottom 10 of Flavor Rave, because when I first checked out this mod, I had Caramelize in the top 10. Now it's the bottom 10. So what caused the dramatic shift, you're probably wondering? Well, it certainly isn't this first third of the song. This first third of the song is genuinely incredible the entire way through. I love how sweet sounds, just trying to stay all up chipper and happy, but also feeling like they are at home with the rock instrumental. Spicy also just sounds incredible. Spicy actually is my second favorite chromatic from the Flavor verse, and I just love it. It feels like a simmered down electric guitar, and it just sounds absolutely stellar. And I love the tone her voice just gives out. And her actual electric guitar sounds just absolutely incredible in every performance she does it in. Genuinely probably my favorite instrument usage of the entire mod. Well, instrument in general, not usage. So, what's the problem here, you're probably asking? Look, I have to say it. Sweet wasn't built to be in a song like this. Because in the instrument section, she's getting completely drowned out by Spicy. I can barely hear over the instrumental, and when she duets with Sweet, it's so hard to make her out. She just wasn't made for a song like Caramelize, and I'm not necessarily complaining. High-Powered Keys is more known for their chiller stuff in FNF songs, while Jackal's known for their more hyped-up songs, so having High-Powered Keys help Jackal with this one was a good choice, but it just isn't perfect. That, and I guess the section right after the guitar section just doesn't sound incredible. I guess it looks like a wind down for the next section, but I don't know, it just feels like it's kind of weak to me and doesn't have the juice that I want from the rest of the song. That being said, the other guitar section pops off from Spicy's part, and although Sweet's gotten better, I still can't properly make her out fully, which really is hurting this song from ranking any higher, because I used to love this song a lot more. Remember, it used to be top 10, but now it's not, and that really hurts.
In fact, I myself will be shot as soon as the filming is complete. What? No? Oh, well, that's a relief.
I'm gonna need to call the graveyard when this entry's over, because Kelpart's gonna kill me for having one of their top 10 FNF songs this low on the list. Although, before I get to calling, I should probably explain why Game Jam isn't ranking any higher. To start off, I want to be very clear, I do really enjoy Game Jam. We are in S-tier territory. I don't dislike this song, I just didn't think it was stronger than the remaining 21 songs. So, I'm gonna just like one issue with the song right now. I don't love Torrent's chromatic. It's fine in a vacuum, but it just sounds kind of rough. It's hard to put into words how I feel about their chromatic, but yeah, I'm gonna go with rough for the word. It doesn't really click with me. Nitro's chromatic is much better than Torrent's. It sounds like more of a feminine voice, and I actually quite enjoy that. Considering these two are, if I'm not mistaken, robots. Again, I could have that wrong. No, they're viruses. I'm sorry, they're not robots. But they do sound pretty good. Sweet and Sour both also sound really good. I much prefer how Sour sounds in this song, since I feel like this entire song was built for him, considering it's more of an electronic vibe. Sweet still sounds pretty good, having pretty good synergy with her partner, but not quite as good as Sour's. And I want to go to the song's art style for a second. Art doesn't affect my rankings, I've made this clear many times in the past, but I have to say it. This song's costumes for Sweet and Sour are just genuinely so cool looking. I wish that we could see this more often. And then this second half happens, and oh my god, this second half is incredible. I love how all four chromatics sound in the song. Even Torrent sounds really good here. Again, I don't really dislike their chromatic, but they just sound so much better in the second half than they did in the first half. Nitro also just pops off, having such good chemistry with both Sweet and Sour, who also just sound incredible. I haven't thought about the instrumental yet. The instrumental is a banger the entire way through. It just feels so electronic based. It feels like you're looking at a moonlit city and the sky. Again, just the electronic vibe, and I love it so much. I want this song higher, but I just didn't really feel like it was better than what we had left.
Wow, cookies! I hope this turns out better than the last time someone left baked goods on my doorstep.
So, I just want to say that I don't think the name of Tres Leches makes any sense for this song at all. It means cake, and I don't fully get why they named it basically cake. I guess maybe because cake is sweet and it's savory, but they could have done something a little better, not gonna lie. But I don't rank songs based on their names, I rank them off their music, and Tres Leches is amazing actually for the most part. I love how it starts off with just an instrument performance right off the bat, and they go into another one later on. It is a bit of a shame they were running through all of Savory's songs so fast, but that's what happens when you got one of the weaker chromatics in the mod. It's a bit of a shame. He does still sound really good though, and Sweet just sounds amazing like they do through basically the majority of the entire mod. The instrumental feels like something you would hear in Mexico, similar to Siva Guenza, and I really like that one. Again, there are times when I think it's exceptional, and there are times when I think it's bad, and Flavor Rave for the most part is the good stuff. However, the second instrument usually is where I have problems with this song. They try and make it more of a rock themed based, and I don't fully get that considering neither instrument is based on a rock instrument. Maybe Saber's a little bit, but Sweet's definitely was not built for this kind of stuff. It's not like it's bad, it's just a little bit weak, and the end of the song does still sound amazing, but I just didn't sense to put this one any higher. I used to have an SS, but over time the song got a little bit weaker for me. It's still an amazing song, don't get me wrong, but I wish it was better.
I'm in danger!
So, assuming Calpart didn't kill me for Game Jammed, Y'alletter's definitely gonna kill me for having Stirring in the bottom 10. And so is probably a lot of other people. But before they pull out their missile launchers, let me just say something real quick. I really enjoy Stirring. Actually, for a time, it was SS. But over time, it just kind of lost a bit of its charm, so it dropped down to a very high S tier. Now, I do a lot of things about the song that I do enjoy. For one, I quite enjoy Bitter's Chromatic. It's probably top 10 of the entire mod. It sounds so smooth and just chill, like an old-timey showman from the past. And I really like chromatics like that. Sweet sounds really good in this song. Probably one of her best uses in the entire mod. Not her absolute best, but it's definitely up there. I love how her chromatic sounds, and it pairs so well with Bitters. The instrument section is a little bit strange. I think Sweet's using an accordion sound coming out of her baton, and I don't know exactly what Bitter's using. I think he's using a piano, but the wiki didn't tell me, and I looked around a while and didn't give me any information, so I had to use my instinct to tell me the answer. The melodies, for the most part, are actually really good. It feels like you're meeting somebody new for the first time. You're just starting out pretty chill and just nice. The same can be said for the instrumental. I just really like it. So, what holds this song back, you're probably asking? Well, how do I say it doesn't like a complete jerk? As much as I love Soaring, I think it really has a great ending to it. Seriously, I love how it just goes from an ominous tone to Sour just jumping in and getting all lovey-dovey again. And the ending just leaving a bit of mystery about where Bitter is going to go in his future days. It's really, really cool. But the remaining 18 songs just had something going for it that I felt like everything we've talked about so far either lacked or just had too many problems going against it, which really hurts because I really enjoy Stirring. I want to like the song a lot more because the first half is really good and the second half is just absolutely incredible, showing Bitter's traumatic past and how it shaped him into the person he is today. And I think that's really cool, but Stirring just didn't have the rest of the energy I wanted from the remaining songs, which really killed it from ranking any higher for me.
I have some bad news. You have main character syndrome.
Oh, damn. I'm looking good.
Are you even listening to me?
No.
I can't help but feel a twinge of disappointment every time I hear the intro of Saf, because the song starts off seems to be all really cool, and then it goes away and that feeling never shows up again in the song, which leaves a bitter taste in my mouth, which that's not a fun way to start off a song. For the most part, besides the intro, I do actually really love Saf. The entire song feels like just a journey down memory lane, exploring all the different locations of Enzyme, and I just think it's really cool seeing this. Saf's chromatic, for the most part, is actually pretty good. I used to really not like it a lot, but over time I think it's gotten better for me. It's childish, it's main character syndrome-y, and it's cocky, and I think that really fits Saf quite well. Sweet sounds really good in this song, same with Sour, they both sound amazing. Nothing really more to say on their chromatics, they're used very well. The instrumental doesn't really stay the same way through the entire song, it always seems to rotate between every phase, and this is my problem with the song. You see, Saf has way too many phases, and barely any of them feel anywhere remotely similar to the phase that played out or a phase that will play on later in the song. So it makes the song feel, how do I say this? It kind of reminds me of Feeling Nice from the base game. 3 different styles in one song, but instead of 3 here, they've got like 6 or 8. I almost said a stupid joke. And I just don't really feel that's the absolute best way to go with Saf. If it was like 4 or 3 phases, I wouldn't necessarily have a problem with it, but since there's so many, it makes the song kind of difficult to track. I'm not saying a multi-phase song is a bad idea. I'm saying the way they execute it was a bad idea, which sucks because just like Stirring and the song that is above this one, this used to be SS. Because again, I love everything about the song, but the phases themselves, while they're good, they just feel kind of messy and discontinued from each other.
If Sonic doesn't win this event, Turtle Town is doomed!
No pressure. Tempt. This is probably the most unique name in the entire mod, besides probably Tres Leches or Cara Loca. But again, I don't rank songs based off their names or their art, I rank them off their music, and this song is amazing. Genuinely, this is the song I was probably have the highest chance to be an SS, but it barely missed on the mark due to an issue that I will address later on. So let's run through all my positives first. Start off with, I love Sun-Dried's chromatic. Her voice is so just chipper and happy, and I love it, and it pairs so well with her robot buddy, Synthetic. Synthetic, just like those other guys from Game Jam 2, I am blanking on the names right now. Alright, it was Torrent and Nitro. He's also a robot, and his chromatic sounds actually really good. I think it pairs incredibly well with Sun's more smooth chromatic, sounding more robotic-like. I just think that works very well. The instrumental is very chipper and bouncy and happy, and I love it quite a bit. The melodies are, for the most part, they're all amazing. The one around the middle section is just incredible though. I think it gets all darker, and I really love that melody. So, what's keeping this song out of SS? Well, you guys remember how I said back in SAF that the song just felt too different all the time? This song has the opposite issue. This song just gets kind of repetitive after the 2.5 minute mark, which really hurts, but when a song feels like it's the exact same thing for almost 4 minutes, and it doesn't have a catchy enough melodies to justify that length, it does end up putting a bit of a damper in my enjoyment for this song, which really hurts, because I really like this song. It used to be SS, but over time, the more I listened to it, the more I thought, this just feels the same thing over and over. And that hurt the song from ranking it as SS anymore, which may drop down to a very high S tier. Still an amazing song, but I just wish it was a bit more unique at times.
point is, I just want someone to care if I stay or go. I want someone to want me, to want to see me, to hold me, look at me and think, you're the only one I want.
Hey yo, my name is Dark Angel, and I'm here to raid Rosifer's ranking video. I'm here because I wanted to talk about Rainbow Sorbet, the fan song that was made official. Don't worry, I won't be here long, so let's get started, shall we? To start with the vocals, I really like how Sweet and Sour sound in this song. I love the way Sweet's soft tone of voice bounces with Sour's more big crushed one. They somehow complement each other really well, and I really like how they sound. This instrumental's also a banger. It's very high energy, I love how all the instruments are used. I just think it sounds really great, and the melodies really pull this song together. They bounce super well with each other, and the melodies are so catchy, I just really love them. They sound great in the calmer, more slower parts of the song, and how crazy they go in the higher energy ones. I especially love how they sound at the end, with the melodies building up to the beat drop. And said beat drop where Sweet and Sour turn into their rave forms and use their instruments sound amazing. I love how they are used and how they sound in this song so much. They sound great. So yeah, I really love this song so much. I know people will point out how loud the vocals are in this song, and they kind of are, but I don't really mind it because they aren't really overbearingly loud, just noticeably loud. So the slight increase in volume for the vocals don't really bug me that much. There's nothing really too crazy going on here, it's just a really fun song that I love listening to. A great fun and short song. And speaking of short, that's how my time's cut right now. Thank you all very much for listening. Now it's back to you, Rosa.
This is the only randomness mod that I don't like. I think it could be good, but I don't like it.
When I listen to Superfan, I can't help but get the feeling that this kid, Gummy, is on a massive sugar rush, and Smokey's just here to watch it all go down, not really caring much at all, and I think that's actually just a very funny concept. So, the creator of Superfan, Mochocho, is one of the best composers from this OST. That's not saying much, because like almost every composer in this OST absolutely pops off, but seriously, this person's made so many good bangers. Lethal Lava Cruise, Baka Tankman Mix, Rain Clouds 2026, and my personal favorite of Superfan. The entire song just has a bouncy, happy energy, and again, I feel like Gummy's just on a sugar rush, and I love it. Speaking of Gummy, her chromatic is really good. She's like a naive little child just exploring the world and so happy to meet one of her idols. And then there's Smokey, who we're finally getting into, even though we just hit SS, which I find funny. So Smokey's chromatic is... it's kind of hard to explain. It kind of reminds me of a tired old man, for the most part. Actually, it really fits, given that Spicy's a very high energetic person, and Smokey's more the toned down version of her, which I like. He sounds his weakest in the mod here, but he still sounds really good. And the instrument section also pops off. Gummy's xylophone sounds just perfect. I love how xylophones sound. And Smokey's shamisen, which I think I'm pronouncing that right, also sounds really good. Probably one of the better usages in the entire mod, although that's not saying much, considering almost every usage in the entire mod is incredible, but this, I think that's actually probably his weakest performance. The section that plays right after it, with the art style changing to fit more of a child's art style, it just sounds really good. I love it. It just sounds like the energy's toned down a little bit, because it doesn't feel like the world's as energetic as it once was. Which I quite like. And the melodies for the entire thing just pop off through the song. I guess the reason I'm not rating this one higher is because it feels like it runs by a bit too fast, which is weird, because it's only like 3 minutes, but I feel like it should be like maybe 3.5. It's weird. But I still love the song quite a bit.
I'll make this look good.
Mega Hearts. This is probably one of the more unique songs in the mod, but you know what? It's a guest song, so that doesn't come as a massive shock to me. But this song is incredible, although I'm just gonna address my issue with the song right here and now, since keeping the song from making any higher than where it is. I think Sweet and Sour are both a little bit too high-pitched in this song. Mostly Sour, because something Sweet does get better on there down the line, but their chromatics are just a little bit too high-pitched. Still sound really good, but not as strong as I wish they were. Rika's chromatic, on the contrary, sounds, oh my god, absolutely incredible. I love how cheery her voice sounds the entire way through it. I feel like everybody in the song is just dancing, and I love that feeling, and all three have such good synergy with each other. And this part right here just absolutely pops up. Sweet's chromatic goes back to being incredible, not sounding as high-pitched as it was. Rika's sounds so even better than she did in the intro, and Sour still doesn't sound incredible, but you know, he still sounds really good. And the instrumental is just full of dance and vibe themes, and I love it so much. Seriously, Nochi and Rick's FS are the perfect combo for making a Friday Night Funkin' instrumental song. It sounds incredible. Probably top 5 instrumentals, or maybe top 10 of the entire mod. That's how damn good it sounds. And the melodies all pop up, especially one around the end with a duet between the three of them. It works so well, but this song couldn't rank any higher because Sour's too high-pitched for the entire thing, and Sweet's high-pitched for about half the way through. But you know what? Still an incredible song.
Looks like you're about to get some shocking news.
Why don't more songs in this mod start off with their instruments right off the bat? Seriously, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but only this song and both versions of Tres Leches do this. And I don't get why more songs don't do this. They always start out incredible when they start with their instruments, and yeah, that's what I love most about Time Shock. This stellar intro. Sour's guitar sounds perfect, and I love how Sweet's instrument just pairs so well with the instrumental and melodies the entire way through. It sounds beautiful. Now onto their chromatics. I think Sour's a wee bit quiet in this song, but I'm not complaining because the instrumental is more EDM feeling than it is classical, so I'll give that a slight pass. And Sweet is used perfectly in the song. She's the perfect volume the entire way through. And the melodies, for the most part, is a constant duet between Sweet and Sour, and I know I said this before, but I'll say it again. These two have such good chemistry with each other, it actually baffles my mind that more songs as OST don't have a lot more duets like these two have. However, if there is one thing about Time Struck I don't like, well, technically two things. It's this. One, again, Sour can be a little quiet at times, but not necessarily in a bad way, so it's not really an issue per se, more of a gripe. But my main problem with this song comes in Sweet's solo. It comes out of nowhere, and look, I'll be honest, why is it this long? It's just 20 seconds of whole notes. This is freaking Haunted all over again with just too many hold notes on a chromatic that works well with hold notes, but just doesn't have the rest of the elements for a song to back up those hold notes. However, once Sour jumps in with his hold notes, you can just feel the energy in the song start to rise. As you know something's about to go down, but you don't know what. But you can feel some kind of energy, some kind of magic flowing from the two of them before they turn into their rave forms. And oh my god, how have we gone this deep into the ranking, and this is the first rave form song we're getting into? Well, not totally true, Rainbow Sorbert was first, but I didn't speak on that song, so this is the first one I've covered with a rave form. Although, what are their instruments here? I'm not complaining because their chromatics still sound incredible, but another instrument usage would not be the worst thing ever. But seriously, this ending, like, mid of the song is stellar. The duets are perfect with the two, with their such good synergy. The instrumental hypes up to the max, and the entire audience is cheering for you. I love Time Shock so much, but dude, Sweet solo is killing it a little bit for me, but still the song is incredible. I love coming back to the song so many times. It's just that damn good.
Yes, we go.
Spicy versus Reed.
You know, I completely forgot Mochocho actually made Kablooey, as well as making Superfan. This is definitely a lot better than Superfan was, even though both are SS, because this is more of a higher SS for me. Although, this is probably the SS and the OST I listen to the least, besides Rainbow Sword, but you're trying to think to yourself, wait, isn't this song ridiculously high up for you though? Why don't you listen to it as much? Well, that's due to a slight gripe with the song that I'll address later, but first I will just emphasize about the song I love. For one, I love how Spicy sounds in this song. She sounds so just full of life and happy to see Brie again, though Brie hates her absolute guts. It's like she's just oblivious to the world around her, and I think that's really funny, not gonna lie. Her chromatic sounds, again, absolutely incredible. Not her best usages, and actually one of her weaker ones, but she still sounds incredible. That's how good her voice is. Brie's chromatic is a bit strange to the flavor verse. Kind of sort of Tabby's chromatic from Festering, something a bit out of place, but I'll get to Festering later on. The instrumental does feel like a combination of electricity and fire, it being perfectly intense for most of the way through except a small point in the middle, but it does still sound incredible the entire way through, and I do adore it. And the melodies... This is my slight issue with the song. You see, this song doesn't ever take a breather with its melodies. Kinda similar to Brotherly Love, except even Brotherly Love took a slight breather every now and then, but this song just doesn't. It stays high energy and constant the entire way through, which can get a little bit repetitive after a while. But, the best about the song is the instrument section. Spice's electric guitar works so well. I love how it sounds in the song, and those, again, it's one of the weaker usages in the mod. And Brie's instrument isn't something I recognize, but it still does sound really damn good. And the section after it, showing both Zeus and the Fire Weather Beast, is just really cool. I love seeing the background of this song, because I don't really like the rest of the art style in this song, except that part. Overall, this song is just incredible, but it being this fast-paced and getting kind of repetitive after a while does mean I'll come back to it a little bit less, but it's still an incredible song that I love listening to whenever I feel like I want to turn something on that's high energy and quick and frantic. And it sounds incredible, but again, it just isn't something I want to turn on for a loop for an hour and hours and hours.
Life's got you down? Then Umami's got your back.
The next 5 songs were so unbelievably, ridiculously close to I-tier that I had to spend at least 2 days trying to figure out the order of these upcoming 5. And unfortunately, as much as I love this song, something had to be in dead last out of the 5, and unfortunately that title belonged to Applewood. That's something I don't like this song. No, Applewood is still an incredible song, but it does have a tiny little issue that's killing this song for me. That being, I think Sour's guitar is a little bit too loud in this song. It feels like it overpowers the instrumental at parts, and that's not great. Inazumi's chromatic is very nice, however. It feels like it's nice pairing with Sour's more rough and deep chromatic, and I feel like it works. And her saxophone is really nice. I don't love saxophones, but you know what actually is used very well in this song, and the instrumental the entire way through is just so chill and smooth, like you're meeting an old family friend for the first time in a good long while, before the second instrument section pops off again, which sounds even better than the first one. Seriously, this ending instrument section is just absolutely peak. Sour is not as loud as he was earlier, and him and Uzi is such a good pairing, and I love this song, but compared to the other 4 SS's that we have left, this had to be at the bottom of those 5. It's still an incredible song, but just barely missed the mark of top 10.
Ye think the world's moved past the need for pirates? Bah! Ha ha! What hogwash! Leave these treacherous seas to an old salt like me!
I find it ironic that every time Juno Songs is in a mod, that song is amazing or incredible, and whenever he works on a song by himself, it's not. That's just a bit funny for me, but seriously, everything Juno's made for a mod, or at least helped with, has sounded amazing. DJ Halliboo from Mario's Madness was an incredible chromatic, Epiphany with Luke's is my SS, and so is Lodestar's Shanty. And, okay, look, I have to say it, I love Salty's voice. Something that Juno does very poorly when he handles his voices for lyrical covers, but that almost every one of his voices sound way too similar. Seriously, almost every single voice he does sound just way too similar when he's trying to use a different chromatic. But in this song, it feels so unique, and I really like that. Little voice line in the middle is quite nice, although I don't love Sour's voice actor. It's not very long, it's only like one line, but I don't adore it to pieces. The lyrics themselves are actually very good. They don't feel very repetitive at parts, but I'll get to that later. And they do follow a pretty similar structure for the most part, which I think works very well. Salty's cheering for Sour to do the best he can, while also keeping his pirate accent, and it's just tone. I think that works very well. His instrument is an accordion, similar to Inazumi's, saxophone. I don't love accordions, but again, it sounds very good here. And Sour, his guitar is, I'm gonna say it, at the best in the entire mod. I love it here. It just sounds so lively and full of energy and pairs so well with the instrumental. Why can't he have more than a few slight turns? I want at least a full minute of his guitar, and we don't get that, and it drives me nuts. So, what's keeping this song from ranking me higher, probably asking? I do have a teeny tiny issue with this song. You know, I said I like the structure of this song? Well, when you have a song that's only 4 minutes long, and it's the similar structure the entire way through, it does get a little repetitive after a while. Not heavily repetitive, but to enough that I still think it's an issue. Again, not a big issue, but it's kind of what's killing this song from ranking any higher than 10th place. But still, this song is incredible. I don't think I've ever seen anybody diss this song at all. Seriously, every list I've seen of this song at least an A or higher. And I don't blame them. This song is incredible.
Fire kebab!
Dad, no! Dad, yes!
Ow! Water!
Why the fuck does Ignatius get so much better on every single goddamn re-listen of this song? Seriously, when I started this video, I had this song in about middle S tier, but when I came back to it, when I was about to start its entry back in S tier, I was like, this song isn't S tier anymore, this is high SS. And look, I love every single aspect of this song. This song's instrumental is the perfect blend of wasabi and caramelized, just like Flavorscape was, but it's been toned down just a little bit, which I don't actually mind that at all. It feels more like a smoky instrumental than a spicy instrumental, like what Flavorscape was. Speaking of smoky and spicy, their chromatics are incredible. Again, they're best used in the entire mod, but they both still just sound absolutely incredible. They have that sibling chemistry that I love hearing from anything in FNF, and it works so fucking goddamn well. I love it to pieces. The melodies are a little repetitive, but that's actually not a problem because they're all so ridiculously catchy. And they work so well in their instruments. Just absolutely pop off. I don't know what's more to say on this song. It just gets just that damn good. I guess there's one thing I can say about this song. The rave form section is absolutely incredible. Now again, not the best performance in the mod of their instruments, but it does absolutely pop off near the end with the intro thing absolute feel like it's burning up, and then the ending turn, which again sounds like you hear in the original, the intro of the song, just sound a little bit different, and it just still sounds incredible, and I love this song so much, but sadly it didn't rank any higher because the remaining 2 songs that were in SS were just slightly better, and those songs just absolute peak perfection, but still those songs so fucking much.
Smokey is my name. I'm not the same performer most have known me as. Things are different now, and for the better.
Say it once and I'll say it again. I love how Flavor Rave just merges two styles that you don't think would work together beautifully. And the style they chose for Wasabi is just beautiful. Mixing an older school themed style of Japan music into the electronic music we hear today in the modern age. That's just really cool in my eyes. Smokey's chromatic for the most part in the song is genuinely just incredible. A bit better than it was in Superfan, and definitely not better than it was in Ninatis, but it still just sounds absolutely incredible here. Sour also sounds just amazing here. Not quite as good as Smokey, but I really like his chromatic. Smokey's shamisen, that's still a weird word to pronounce, sounds pretty good in this song. I really like the feeling it gives out, and it pairs well with Sour's guitar. Even though I don't love how Sour's guitar sounds in the song, probably the weakest in the entire mod here, but it still sounds pretty good for the most part. And seeing Smokey's waveform looking this cool is just really nice. The entire song gives out the feeling that you're stuck in an old school Japan style, and I love that kind of feeling. It just pairs so well with everything. The melodies, the instrumental, the chromatics, the guitar sections, they all just pop off. Speaking of the guitar sections, this second one absolutely pops off. I love how it sounds so damn good. Although, Sour's guitar does sound a bit strange here again. Again, not bad, but just a little bit weird. Kind of quiet, and maybe a little bit off-tune. But again, still really good. But I just don't want to put this song any higher than where it is. It's an incredible song, don't get me wrong, but yeah, the remaining 7 songs were all just slightly better, or were just high tiers.
Emerald, what happened? We're going to Cerulean City and find this cycling road.
I'm naming the seats off of but I'm doing it locally.
Yeah, you should name your character that.
No. Actually, there's not even enough space.
If I had to describe Fubuki in one word, it would be gorgeous. This song genuinely hurts not to have it in I tier, because I really want it to be an I tier, but it just barely, and I mean barely, misses the mark. This song combines the burning hot intensity of Jackal's style with the cool style that Kamix is known for, and I just love it. The entire song feels like you're in a winter wonderland, ice flowing all around you, with only 2 flames to keep you warm. Oh my god, I quite adore almost everything about this song. To start off with, I love Ace's chromatic. I've always had a bit of a soft spot for it, and it just sounds absolutely incredible in a song. Easily Ace's best performance ever to exist. Smoky and Spicy also just sound incredible. This might actually be Smokey's best performance in the entire mod. And while it's not Spicy's best performance, she still sounds absolutely incredible teaming up with Smokey. The entire instrumental is just absolutely beautiful the entire way through. I want to brew up a nice mug of hot chocolate while listening to it because it just sounds so chillingly beautiful to listen to. And once the ice dragon fades away, the entire stage just starts warming up. The ice beast has faded away, and now all that remains is the fire beast. And oh my god, the flames of Togashi Town pull out their instruments and they sound absolutely goddamn incredible. Smokey sounds incredible with the instrument. He's the best performance of the entire mod. And Spice sounds just as incredible with an incredible motif from Flavorscape. Seriously, that's probably the best part from Flavorscape they could have used. And then the song cools right back down, just giving you a bit of time to breathe as Smokey and Spicy go back to pairing up with each other super well. As the main motif from the song comes right back around, which you would think would be a problem, but surprisingly, no, it's not. I actually don't mind the song uses its main motif so often. It sounds incredible the entire way through. And as the Aurora lights shine through, showing the Ice Beast and the Fire Beast once against the other, it's so beautiful. So why is this song not ranking higher? What is keeping it from I tier? Look, I have to say it. Right after the Ice Beast's fades away comes this absolutely gorgeous section between Smokey, Spicy, and Ace. But right after that section ends, the song just loses all of its energy, and I don't love the ending of this song. It sounds good, but it is unfortunately what kept this song from ranking as an I tier, which really hurt, but still, I love Fubuki. It just didn't have enough gas left at the end.
I've had enough!
Most of my infinite tiers, or I tiers, usually make me dance the entire way through. However, Festering is one of the rare occasions where that's not completely the case. This song makes me dance for about half the way through, but the remaining half of the song doesn't feel like dance material at all. And you know what? I think that's perfect for a song like Festering. This entire song can be defined into one word: spite. Both characters, both Tangy and Tabby, feel absolute spite and hatred for a certain character, and they are just expressing it beautifully in the song. The entire song just feels like it's a full-on anger vibe, where the two just venting out to the why they don't like their certain person. Tangy not liking Sour because she's jealous of him, he doesn't deserve everything, and Tabby furious at girlfriend because he blames her for losing everything. Speaking of tangy, I know I said Spice is my second favorite chromatic in the mod, but tangy has my favorite, hands down, no question asked. I love her voice. It's so unique from the rest of the mod. It's not featuring an instrument at all, which gives out more room for a unique type of blend for a chromatic, and I really like the style they chose for it. Tabby's voice is also really good. I don't absolutely love his newer chromatic that they used after his old chromatic was, well, scrapped for reasons that you guys know. But this chromatic still is amazing. But probably the best part of the entire song comes when Tabby shows his plans. The bomb, blowing up girlfriend, killing her as Tangy looks on this in a sight of fear. Because even she knows this is too much. And it just sounds genuinely incredible. This entire song is gorgeous and beautiful. I love everything about this song. It is just perfect, but not quite top 5 material.
Whatever you want to know, I'm not telling you. Don't make me repeat myself.
Remember how I said that Festering's word was spite? Well, I think hatred is a much better fit for a song like Livewire. Because, oh, boy do I love Livewire so goddamn much. This song is basically perfect in every single aspect it gives out, and I'm just gonna run through them all right here and right now. So, the entire song gives us this feeling of hatred, jealousy, and anger the entire way through, but with a hint of danger under all of it, and I love that kind of feeling from Friday Night Funkin' songs. It always makes it just sound so nice when it's this full of emotion. Tangy's chromatic is a bit better than it was in Festering. I still love how unique it sounds to the flavor verse, but this is, again, a better usage than it was in Festering. The instrumental, for the most part, is, again, just absolutely gorgeous. It is a bit repetitive, but it actually really works for a song like Livewire, where years and years of built-up anger towards Sour works. Speaking of Sour, his chromatic is probably at the best in the entire mod right here. I know I've got 2 more songs left with him, but this is one of my favorite usage. He just sounds so annoyed and ticked off. He's like, hey, Tangy, leave us alone. We're trying to have a night out. And Tangy's like, no, you bitch. I'm not going to do that. It's time to finally own up to your actions. And I love that. The melodies, again, are just so spiteful. There's no real flow between the two of them. There's no coordination, which I think works very well, since they don't like each other at all. Which just makes it very nice. And then gets probably the coolest thing about the entire song. Tangy's rave form. So unlike almost every other rave form, which is born out of love and all that stuff, Tangy's is born out of hatred. A hatred for Sour, and I really, really like that. And her chromatic changes up, and it sounds so damn good. It sounds like just full of bitterness and regret and just overall, again, hatred. Well, I do wish Lefty sang a bit. That's the name of the hat hand example of what exactly is Lefty anyway. I don't really understand that. I know it's her hat, but how could a hat have a rave form? That doesn't make sense. Oh well. Her voice still sounds great, and Sour's chromatic is a bit changed up too. Almost like he's scared. And that sounds really good. And then Tangy grabs Sour as this section just plays that, as the voices go back to normal. As you see a look of fear on Sour's face, a look of happiness a bit on Tangy's, and a look of just overall fear on Sweet's. Sour's stuck, he can't get out of this, and Tangy just relishing in her victory. It was a song just thinking about what's gonna happen next. Well, if I had any problems with this song, I guess I could maybe say the ending could have been a bit better, but even then the ending still sounds really good. But I guess that is what holds the song back from ranking higher than 5th.
You made the right choice.
Whenever I listen to Heartstrings, I just get the biggest smile on my face. For this song apparently being a ghost opera theme, it just feels so energetic, and I love that feeling so goddamn much. Seriously, this song is so fucking incredible. I adore literally every aspect. Oh, that's not true. Almost every aspect of the song. So let's run through the most obvious thing right now. Daisy's chromatic. She sounds so much better than she does in her actual mod, and it's not even a question. She just sounds so high energy and just so smooth, and I love her chromatic. Sweet also sounds, dare I say it, at her, maybe her second best in the entire mod, just in your default chromatic. We'll get to her first later, but this is probably her second best. The instrument section is pretty good. I love how Daisy's violin sounds. I really must suck for violin sounds. Sweet's instrument is my problem with the song. It's a harmonica sound. I hate harmonicas. Like, with a burning hatred, I don't like harmonicas at all. They're so overused and just thrown in a lot of different movies, and I'm tired of hearing them, and it's kind of what ruined Simulation V3 for me back in Mistral Crimson Morning. But here it doesn't necessarily sound the worst thing ever. Like, yeah, it's not great, but not necessarily bad. It pairs well with the instrumental and Daisy's violin, and the melodies are absolutely incredible throughout the entire song. But yeah, that harmonica's really killing it for me. Sounds fine the second usage, but just not as good as I wish it was in the first time, which is kind of what's holding Heartstrings back, because if not for that problem, this could be top 10 of all Friday Night Funkin', but it's literally sitting in 11th place just for that problem, which really hurts, but still, I love the rest of the song to pieces, so I'm going to give it a slight bypass.
Why isn't it possible?
It's just not.
Why not, you stupid bastard?
I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. Flavorscape has gotten a bit weaker since the first time I heard this song. Back when I first heard the song about a year-ish ago, I thought to myself, wow, this song is incredible. In fact, this could be my favorite FNF song of all time. And you know what, for a while it actually was my favorite FNF song, even being at Rage Party for a slight while. But then it never became my favorite again, and eventually it dropped out of my top 5 Friday Night Funkin' songs, which is probably a big shock to a lot of people because so many people around me know how much I used to gush over this song. But I do still adore basically everything this song gives out. To begin it off, I love this instrumental. It's the perfect blend of instrumental theme that both Caramelize and Wasabi were going for, and I think the two work beautifully together, and makes this probably top 5 instrumentals in the entire mod. The instruments also sound killer. Spicy having my easy favorite. Seriously, I am a sucker for electric guitar. And it's used in the best in the entire mod right here. It just sounds so lively and full of energy if she's finally unlocked her rave form. Sweet's instrument is also the best in the entire mod. It blends in so well with not only the instrumental, but every melody she shoots out. The only thing that sounds weak for me is near the ending, even then it still sounds really good. Sour and Smoky do both still sound amazing, although I do think they could have just been a little bit stronger at times, especially Smoky with his instrument. The melodies, for the most part, are absolutely incredible. I adore every single one of these melodies coming off from all of them, and all 4 chromatics sound just stellar the entire way through. Especially Smoky and Sweet. Spicy and Sours do still sound amazing, but those two are easily carrying the cream of the song. So, what's the problem with the song, you're asking? What could have made it fall from being in my top 5 FNF songs? Look, as much as I like this song, and I still adore this song to pieces, it got a little bit stale after a while. Like, when I just listened to this song, I think this doesn't hit the same as it once did, and I just think the remaining 2 songs, as close as it is, just beat out Flavorscape by enough. And that really hurts because I do still have a burning love for this song, but compared to both Imitation Station and That's a Wrap, I just feel like Flavorscape got the short end of the stick, which really hurts because, again, I love this song to pieces. Not really anything I dislike about this song, it just got a little bit stale after a while, and that hurts, but the song is still incredible, and I get why Dark Angel loves it so much.
happened to him until these strange radio broadcasts started going out.
This record is being played at a club, disco, lounge, house, basement, or block party.
Imitation Station was the last song I expected to rank as top 2 in the entire mod. Yes, I've always had a bit of a soft spot for this song. Seriously, it's never once gone under top 5 of the mod, but never did I think it would ever get this strong. But when Flavorscape fell, something had to take its place, and, well, that was Imitation Station. I love this song so much. This song takes everything Hotline had and just completely chucked out the window. Well, except for Deep Poems. That song is incredible, but seriously, nothing else comes close to the peak that is Imitation Goddamn Station. This song is so incredible. I love everything about this song, starting off with the chromatics. Niku sounds perfect here. I love her more like robotic chromatic, and it pairs so well with Inazumi's, well, just smoother chromatic. The two work so well together. Niku's ability to imitate past opponents is also just incredible. Starting off with Monika's chill tone is just gorgeous, and I love how Monika sounds. Then Infinite shows up. She sounds a bit different than did in the Sonic Forces mod, but I'm not gonna complain. She sounds his absolute best than he ever did there. And oh my god, it's that fucking Yuri. She sounds absolutely goddamn incredible in the song. This is Markov. No, this is Crucify levels of incredible here. She's used so well as backing vocals for Niku. The instrument section is also incredible. As I said back in Applewood, I don't love saxophones, but oh my god, it works so well here. I haven't got the instrumental yet. It's just right there, and it just sounds so perfect, and it's the perfect back instrumental for a song like this one. It just works so well. I think the coolest part of the song, though, is when Niku starts imitating her own saxophone. But it sounds a bit different than Inazumi's. That's really cool. They could have just took the exact same saxophone and just made it one against the other, but they don't. They make it so distinguishable, and that makes the song just sound so much better than the ending. And as much as I love the song, and as much as I think it was the best song in the mod, it's still incredible, and it's an easy top 5 FNF. But even then, there's someone that loves the song just as much as I do.
Good god, why is Imitation Station so incredibly peak? Hello everyone, I'm Kelpart, and welcome back to me finding literally any and every excuse to talk about Flavor Rave that I can. And yes, I know, I'm sure that literally everyone here is surprised that I'm not talking about Game Jam. I mean, that is the song from this mod that I adore, but due to some circumstances that I'm not allowed to state yet, plus Rosa approached me with this song anyways, I decided that this would be a nicer change of pace. Besides, this is still my second favorite song from the entire mod, so it's not like I have anything less to say about this song. And oh boy do I have a lot to say. Starting out with the chromatics, they are both so good. I'll start with Umami, since like a few other characters from Flavor Rave, I think her regular chromatic can sound just a little janky. However, in this song, Noichi was able to use it in such a way that just flows so well and sounds amazing. It's honestly such a turnaround, since Umami also stars in my least favorite of the OST. And yes, for the record, I do have Applewood in last. That song is terrible and literally the worst song ever, if you ignore the fact that it's S tier. But then Niku starts singing, and literally nothing else matters. As I've stated before, Niku far and away has my favorite vocals of any FNF character ever, and that's for a couple reasons. Firstly, her bass chromatic is just so satisfying to hear. I don't know how the vocal patterns were recorded, or even what they were, because they are far different sounding from normal patterns, but something about the chromatic is just so majestic sounding in almost every use case. And that's without mentioning the other main reason this chromatic is so godlike, that being the mimicking. Yes, Niku has the ability to mimic other FNF vocals, and in this song she uses it to mimic other characters from Team TBD's other projects, such as Doki Doki Takeover Plus and Versus Infinite. So, first of all, this is just a really awesome reference. It sort of feels like this big celebration of Team TBD, which I love. But some of the chromatics, such as Monika and Yuri, also have an amazing tone to them, which when combined just gives this song such a strong vocal identity. The mimicking sections of this song also just have such an awesome tone to it all. The way the song is able to perfectly reflect the style of the characters being mimicked without the song feeling too choppy or a specific turn feeling too out of place is honestly an impressive feat. And that's not to say the rest of the song is lacking in standout sections either. The beginning definitely leans more into that jazzy style that Umami has in this mod, and that leads to some super chill melodies that sound great. And of course, shout out to the piano in the instrumental, it just sounds so consistently good throughout the entire song, and I love how despite the many changes in each section, the piano is consistently in the instrumental during the entire song. And then the ending. I mean, what do you want me to say? It's got a saxophone solo in it, that's just peak, you literally just cannot beat that. I wouldn't go as far as to say it's my favorite instrument moment in the entire mod, but it's definitely up there for sure. And then we get double the saxophone, but now one is bit crushed? Like, come on! This is just perfection! The overall more laid-back tone of this song, along with the incredibly unique vocals, references, and just overall being really well composed, leads to Imitation Station just being such a perfect song. And that's without mentioning the visuals are charting in the song. But I've been rambling on for long enough. I think it's about time I hand things back over to Rosa. Obviously, thanks for inviting me to talk about Flavor Rave. If you guys haven't yet, subscribe! This is some genuinely quality content, dang it! And I mean, if it's not too much to ask, you could go subscribe to me. I'm just saying, like, I did also make a Flavor Rave ranking, and I'm just saying, is an option that you can go do. But that's enough shilling, back to your regularly scheduled ranking.
This is going to go well over the 3-minute mark that this song gives out. But you know what? I don't care. That's a Wrap is such an incredible song. I need at least 4 minutes, bare minimum, to unpack every living thing that this song does that I adore. To start off the truckload of positives that I have for the song, Rick's FS made this song. Rick's FS is my favorite FNF composer of all time, and I'm not gonna take that back. The dude is literally incapable of making a bad song. The only mid song that I've heard from him is Oblivion, and even that's pushing it a little bit because that song gets better with every single listen. Now let's talk about the actual song itself, because we've got quite a bit to unpack. Starting off with the 4 chromatics. Let's go through them from worst to best. Let's begin off with Sour's chromatic. So both Sour and Sweet actually got slightly updated chromatics. I don't love Sour's completely. He still sounds incredible, but I don't adore his vocals. It's a bit too deep at parts. Sweet is easily making up for what Sour's giving out. Her voice is so, well, sweet and heavenly, and I love how it's used in the song. And then there's Funky and Saucy. Oh my dear sweet Jesus. How is Rick's FS so damn good with his boyfriend? I love this chromatic that they put for Funky. It sounds so damn good. They gave him the charm that Rick's FS has always used for boyfriend. And Saucy just sounds so smooth and sweet, but also just full of sass, and I love it to pieces. The melodies in this song, especially when it's playing out right now, is unbelievably catchy. Whenever I listen to the song's melodies, I can't help but start breakdancing. It sounds just so damn good, and I don't care if they're repetitive. I don't care if they're used a bunch of times in the song. They still sound incredible in every single usage that they're in, and it just makes the notes of the song so perfect. And the instrumental is just absolute godlike. My third favorite instrumental in all of Friday Night Funkin'. Evolution and Rage Party are slightly above it, but even then this song just still sounds absolutely incredible. It starts off slow, kicks right back up, slows down for a bit longer, just full steam the rest of the way through, and it sounds so unbelievably goddamn perfect and fits everything in the song. Every part in this song fits like a jigsaw puzzle, and it all sounds perfect and beautiful and majestic. And you know what? Screw it. Rage Party is my favorite FNF song anymore. That's a Wrap has now taken the crown for my favorite. I adore this song so much. I haven't got the artwork yet either. Funky and Saucy also look just gorgeous in this song, and Neapolitan, Pecan, and Flambe all those look so kick-ass. They work so well in the Flavor Rave style. It's so unique to see a song like this in Flavor Rave, and I can't help but love whenever I listen to this song. If you don't like this song, again, I fully understand why you don't like this song. I'm looking at you, Love It Yeller, because I know you don't like this song, but this song for me is just gorgeous, majestic, and perfect. I can't say it's any more than I already have. This song is just incredible. And with that final entry from the That's a Wrap finished, this ranking video is also now finished. I'm just gonna say it right now. Even though I burnt myself out a ton making this video, I still had a lot of fun doing this mod. Flavor Rave is such a cool and unique mod in the Friday Night Funkin' community, and I adore it for everything it gives out. Its guests, its DLC, its unique story, its OST, its art, everything. I adore this mod, but even then, I know I'm not the biggest fan of this mod, nor am I close to it. I know 3 people love this mod a lot more than I do. Kelpart, Axer, and my friend Syntho all love this mod a bit more than I do, and you know what? I'm not complaining. I'll take Doki Doki Takeover being my favorite FNF mod of all time, and leave this to somebody else to adore it more than I do. But I still do adore this mod, as shown in this tier list here. So yeah, this mod is still incredible, and it's an easy runner-up for the best FNF mod in history, but again, it's no Doki Doki Takeover. So, what's the plan now, you're probably asking? Well, here's the plan. I'm taking a little bit of a break. My voice is killing me. I am struggling so hard to speak right now, and I need a break. So, until April, no more videos. Unless 2 things happen. 1, I hit 75 subscribers, and I'll get to work on that milestone video. I know it says it's going to be Heaven's Rift, but I'm considering switching it to either Orpal Guy or versus FNAF 3. I'll let you guys decide down below. Or 2, some giant big FNF mod drops, and I drop everything just to see this incredible masterpiece. But until then, no ranking videos. I will be posting a Bigacha, but maybe a cover, but no more ranking videos. So, I'll see you all next time.